and welcome to my 1-year review of the Acer Nitro 5 gaming laptop. In this one we'll be running through everything from specs, durability to speed. Anything that's to do with this laptop we'll be covering today. Anyway, let's get into the specs. So on this variant of the Nitro 5 that I bought 1 year ago for 650 British pounds, I got here for myself a CPU, the Core i5-8300H. It's a decently fast processor. It's one of these mobile chips. Nothing too shabby, it's nothing too special. And then we also got a GTX 1050, not Ti, on this laptop. This originally did come with DDR4 8GB of RAM, but I upgraded it to 16 as it wasn't enough for what I wanted. And on this one, I got a full HD 1080p monitor screen on it with a rather large bezeled screen here of 15.7 inches. It's big enough for my desk that I'm normally gaming on, but now with my much larger monitor, I find it with a much better experience. It's good enough for most things. At 1080p, it's more than enough at such a small size. So this screen here is only 60 Hz. So although it might be good enough for most entry-level gamers' needs, it's probably not good if you're going to start pro gaming. I suppose you wouldn't be on a 1050 either, or an i5 if you were pro gaming. Or 8 gigs of RAM for that matter. But the screen has quite a lot of flex on it actually. It's not too bad, like some particularly badly built, but also this is 2 pieces. Which when you start looking at the flex, starts to split the tiniest bit. If I do that a bit, it starts to split a little bit, which you then have to kind of push it back together. So the build quality overall isn't particularly good. Even on the keyboard, you get quite a lot of flex on it. Even whilst typing is not so bad, but if you were to start clicking over here in this area, so if you were, I don't know, if you were one of those weird people who like to click in the corners, you get quite a lot of flex down there, which isn't good at all. Well, I suppose you could compromise and say, well, the speakers are good enough, but they're not. They're very loud, they're great, they're high quality, but this flex though, it's just crazy. Also, I love their branding here. That is one thing that literally every company should do. I think most companies do it, but whatever, it's very good. Also, I like the highlighted WASD here. The rest of it, it's not the most comfortable it's not the most comfortable typing experience. The keys make a nice sound. If you're one of those people who like the keyboard sounds, the mouse pad's quite good. It attracts a lot of dirt. I actually had to give this a serious cleaning before recording this, and even now it's still pretty filthy. The keys attract a lot of dust. There's a bit too much space between the keys, I'd say. Although it does come with a numpad, which is very nice, and comes with full function keys at the top. One thing I'm not so happy about with this is the fact that you get the power button as part of your main keyboard. I know some people quite like that, but I like having a dedicated power button in a corner over there or wherever, or maybe even here or on the sides. Would be very nice. But it's not to my taste personally. But overall, again, for entry-level people who want a laptop, it's good. When I bought this, they said it was quite clunky. Or, they didn't, but it's 5 kilos of computer here. It weighs about the same as my PC that I've just built, but it's pretty thick actually, which if I were to go get another regular laptop for comparison, this is a lot thinner. It's significantly lighter. Courtesy of my mum here. This laptop, although it might not come with as much processing power, it is a lot lighter and thinner, and it was bought several years earlier than this. I suppose, again, you can compromise that by saying you're not getting one of the laptop GPUs in this, but then again, it runs incredibly hot. We'll talk about that later on in the video. However, This is a very heavy laptop. The portability isn't particularly great. And overall, its physical capabilities or its physical attributes are not great. And the build quality is not that great. The screen flex is decent, but the screen comes apart. And overall, I would not call this a true gamer's laptop. To power it on, as you can see here, it's hybrid storage of SSD and HDD, which is what I actually got with this variant of the laptop. You can get full hard drive as well. You can see the boot times are not particularly great. And although, yes, this is after a year of use, you can see it's really taking its time here. Even just to boot into Windows here, I mean, you've seen it yourself here, it's not particularly fast. I put it into plug, even though it is full battery, just in case, because the battery life on this is not great. It's only 4 hours of battery life, which when you're hopefully trying to get into the mobile gaming industry, this is not the kind of thing that you want, where you can only get 4 hours of battery life when doing regular day-to-day tasks. You start booting up your Assassin's Creed Odyssey or your Shadow of the Tomb Raider, you are not going to get the full experience that you would get on anything else. From the higher end or from anywhere else. But now then, let's get logged in and check out some of them benchmarks. So now then, if we begin to try and get into Cinebench here, first of all, the boot times, I can't even get into it for some reason. It gives me some crazy rubbish I don't really get. As you can see here, it's just taking its time. I tried to right click it, it's giving me the weird roundy mouse donut thing. But as you can see, it doesn't boot particularly well. I mean, if we even attempt, and then the taskbar just disappeared. But if we even attempt to just get it in from here, it takes its sweet time to boot. Which, yeah, I suppose you could admire the lights of keys here as he waits. Very bright keys, very nice, but and then it does random things like that. Yeah. This thing has its quirks, it's got its issues, but I am going to show you guys what it's like in Cinebench. Okay guys, so as you can see here, now that my laptop has quieted down a bit, we can now see that Cinebench is hardly good for what you might be expecting. So upstairs on my PC, I have a Ryzen 5 3600. That thing got a score of about 4,000. This one, however, got a score of 1,370. It comes 10th in the list of the ranked processors that come up on here. The render took a while, the fans ramped up like a blooming jet engine, and overall, this image was not good for this i5. However, there's still the GPU. We might as well check out what Firmark has to say about that and Shadow of the Tomb Raider. Okay, so starting with Firmark, the GPU stress test, we're going to be stress testing the GPU for obvious reasons. We're going to be going with the preset 1080p because I don't trust the 4K that it defaults to. This is a 1050, there's no way it can handle 4K. So, of course, it's going to give us the warnings, but let us begin the benchmark. Well, we seem to be doing okay here at an average of 36 frames a second. My 1650 Super managed to get much better scores than this, but again, it was the next generation up from this good old 1050 that we've got here. However, it doesn't seem to be heating up too much. It's hitting about 60 degrees at the moment, and it's actually not too bad on the GPU load, which personally I find kind of worrying, as God knows what kind of cooling they've got on the, it's starting to ramp up now, but it's beginning to ramp up the volume of the fans only now, once it hits past 60 degrees, which for a GPU is not good. This GPU is idling at 40 degrees, which again is really not good at all for a GPU like this one that's older, probably runs a lot more inefficiently. Here we go, and we're done. We got an average here of 34 frames on our 1050. As you can see there, you can see all the specs of everything. I'm not much into these whole benchmarking things, but the score of 2,045 points there. So we were getting about half of what I would call the smooth experience. But anyway, let's move on to Shadow of the Tomb Raider, where benchmarks make a little bit more sense. Okay guys, so now that we are now in Shadow of the Tomb Raider, let us begin by running the benchmark. I'm running it at medium graphic settings, and now then, we will now see how well it runs. Actually, the GPU in this system only just about meets minimum spec. According to Steam's minimum specs for this game, a 1050 is only just enough for this. Our processor is more than enough. However, I feel that our GPU is going to be a serious bottleneck in this. Anyway, let's now wait until the benchmark has started and we will begin to talk about it then. Okay, so now then, as you can see in this benchmark, we're running at a decent if you're a console player, but the PC players at not particularly well frames, between probably about 15 and 40. Probably later on in this benchmark we'll be pushing maybe just over 40 frames in later scenes. However, in this scene we're averaging around 30 frames a second. But overall, this is probably not the smoothest gaming experience for any gamers who want to get into this game. This is not a smooth experience, so if you're wanting to run Crysis, nah. Shadow of the Tomb Raider shows there's no way you can run Crysis on this laptop. But yeah, whilst this benchmark is running, we'll talk about the overall build quality of this laptop. Overall, I mean, if we bring the camera closer, you can hear the fact that whilst it's sat on your desk, it's got a serious sound of pure noise. Anyway, but now then, even out the back here where you've got your airflow, there's some serious heat coming out of the back of here. Like my hand's kind of cold. I can probably warm up my hand here. And again, overall, if you're looking for something that's decent for build quality, this is probably not your best bet, as you can see here again, as I mentioned earlier, serious flexing issues. If you're looking for the fastest boot times ever, this isn't for you. However, if you're wanting to just get into the basics of high-end, or not high-end gaming, but the low-end entry-level gaming, you can run Fortnite on this probably pretty well. I can't think of anything else that there is particularly special on this. It's a gaming laptop of entry level, and I mean, there's nothing else to say about it. It's nothing particularly interesting. I mean, the keyboard lights up, but that's pretty much it. We'll now wait until the end of the benchmark, and let's finish it there. So now that the benchmark is over, for those of you who are more familiar with it, you'll know it is a surprisingly difficult benchmark to run. But as you can see here on our 1050, we've been averaging at about 34 frames a second. The fans have not turned down at all, so I'm assuming this is running pretty hot here. But you can see here the results. Our GPU was, it was a bit slower. I mean, we had a bottleneck there, but I mean, you can see it here for yourself. There's a massive bottleneck with the GPU within this laptop, but I mean, it seems to be good enough for mid-range or low to mid-range. Excuse me. Low to mid-range gaming, but overall, if you're looking for something cheap in a laptop, I mean, cheap in relation to the fact that it's a laptop that's made for gaming, it's pretty good. I know I didn't cover productivity in this. Productivity is what you see from a 1050. It's long, it's kind of difficult, but Premiere Pro runs very, very well. I used to use this to edit my videos. It's perfectly good. But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, you know what to do. You may need to like, you need to subscribe, and you need to smash that notification bell so you'll hear about my next tech video. Anyway, I'll catch you in the next video. See you later.